Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris and this is Restoration Rescue. So last week we came in and started wiring up the front end of the truck. We have lights, we have everything in the front. Now what we did have problems with was with the horn. So what we're going to do first is talk about what we found and what we need to do to fix it. So right now what we have is a new turn signal setup right here. Now we did have to go in and rewire our connector from the steering wheel. Now what is the issue is this button right here. It was not making correct contact. So what needs to happen is we need to make the right amount of contact inside this button. So the button needs to go down and connect with the horn relay to connect and make the sound. Now, this isn't going to work right here. So what we need to do is take a screwdriver and just touch a little bit as we have power right now. Let's turn the key on just to make sure. And you can see right there is our contact. You can see it spark a little bit, but that is how it works. Got there, boom, done. So let's see if it kind of works with this. It does. So now that is what is happening. That thing connects. So what we need to do is see how it prevents it from happening. Right? So that button disconnects and opens the loop so we no longer have horn. So now we just need to put the horn back together. But what's happening right now is we are working on painting the steering wheel, which is happening off camera, not a big deal. We're just throwing some of the interior paint like we did on this housing. So also we're going to come in and talk about the passenger side. So right now, everything is set up. Obviously, we are missing a glove box. Now, the glove box we originally purchased came in wrong, but now we have the correct one, and now we just need to get some stuff and put it together. So that'll happen as well, and we have most of the parts to do our wipers. So the wipers are here, ready to go. They need to get in and get put together. So the motor works. We tested the motor last week and made sure that worked, and that's all good. So now let's hop up into the engine bay. So in the engine bay, we took care of this wire right here that goes to our temperature sensor. Everything else is set up. We have everything hooked up to here. We have our headlights hooked up. Now, we did find something else with our LED lights. The LED lights have now went bad. We also were using the wrong ones. So those are now on order. However, we did get at Walmart for $12 two seal beam headlights that work and work correctly with everything. Now, I have heard LEDs have some issues, and that's something we may need to address and may just not go with LEDs. So everything in the hood range up to probably right about here is complete. We do have to run a couple hoses. There's a port right here and this that need to run inside the truck for the heater core. Now that may not be handled by the time we go. But what we have now is everything on the front end pretty much completed. So let's keep going and let's talk about the back of the truck. So here we are at the bed of the truck, and obviously the bed is missing. So what we need to do here is get everything together, which starts with us moving out back, and we need to paint. So we need to paint all the panels for the bed and work on getting the bedwood cleared and painted and done everything there. Now we have most of the wiring done here, so I'm not worried about anything on the trunk, right? So now these are our tail lights. They are LEDs. And our turn signals aren't working, and I believe we are having an issue with the taillight with the LED, and I would have to change the flasher. I did order a set of regular ones. Like I said, we may go with that. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to work on getting the paint booth up, getting that one door into the garage and just out of the way. because we have one door that's completed and we have the other that we need to finish painting. So let's go ahead, get that paint booth in the air and start getting that door inside and out of the way so we can start working on painting the rest of this truck. All right, so we have everything up and we have one small issue on the door, and then did get a little bit of a hole. And now that hole won't really matter. Nothing really that I'm worried about. I could probably stitch in a patch when it comes down. Now the big problem that I have is we did get two little cuts in our paint. So I have scuffed it up so it's ready for some paint. We're going to repaint that door, and we're going to come over here and paint the bottom end of this door. I got to clean it. Once it's clean, I am going to paint. Now, obviously, you can see that this door is not the flattest and not the most perfect. But, again, for a first time ever doing body work, first time ever doing anything on the truck, I think that everything came out okay. All right, obviously, you can see here, you have a little bit of a ridge in our paint. Now, it's not perfect yet. This still needs to be probably gone over in another clear coat, which I'll probably do later today. And we're going to get these doors set. Now, this is the door that was all complete, which is a little disheartening because I was ready to put it on the truck. So let's go ahead, mix up some of our paint, throw it on this one, throw it on that door, and then we can start getting ready for clear, get other panels out here, and get this thing painted up so that it looks and can go back on the truck. So while we wait for that to dry, we come inside, and I started to mess around a little bit with the horn. So what we had to do is we had to kind of, we put in a new contact back here, and we knew it worked because when we knew the horn worked now. And I think some of the issue that we were having is grounding issues. And so what was happening is when I put the steering wheel on, I put it on too tight and didn't line everything up. So now everything is lined up. We have a horn. Well, I hope. Let's check. We have a horn. All right. So that contact is grounding out and creating the circuit to make the horn. So now we have a horn, which is now totally awesome. So we have everything set up here. We have a horn. We have a lot of stuff going on. Now we just need to keep on trying different things to get everything to work. This truck is really, really coming along. I'm really excited with the progress that we have going on. So we are going to let outside dry. We are going to come back, clear coat everything we have outside, and work on getting it ready to go on the truck. It'll be awesome to get both of those doors on the truck. So let's go ahead, wait for that stuff to dry, and get them onto the truck. All right, so we have now had a little bit of time in the garage to do some things. The glove box is back in. That's all set up. And now so is the gauge cluster. Now we are missing the throttle cable. I'm going to look for a cover for that and paint this right here. I kind of like the tan. I just love the tan. I don't like the gaudy gauges, really, especially with everything else that's in the cab. And we have a working cluster. Now the battery is not hooked up, so you aren't going to hear anything if I do anything with that. Again, we have a working horn. Again, we need that plugged in. But everything is coming along. Now we do have a lot of cleaning here in the interior, as you see. Still have a lot of wiring to run and get squared away. So we do have some things coming for the wipers. We have been quoted to get a windshield in, which I have the windshield. I just don't know if I feel comfortable doing it. We have the back window. We have the doors to put in, and we are getting very close to being ready. So we also last week put in the gas cap. Now this is not going to be okay because that's not what we're using, obviously. I'm not going to weld it together. I think that's a bad move, but you can see that everything's in there, and we just turn it off and it's not going anywhere. So this truck has definitely come a long way in the years that we have had it. Everything in here is pretty much wrapped up, ready for final taping, everything taped up wiring wise, and just going from there. I started to tape this. Need to wire these together, tape them together, so they're not going anywhere. Everything is coming along. I know my manifolds have started to rust. Not worried about that because this thing is not a show truck. Now, that is one thing I want to talk about. It is far from perfect. This truck is meant as a project. So, as you can see, we can see each other in the paint. But obviously, you can see there is some orange peel on it. I'm not too worried about it. This is my first ever project, my first ever paint job, and it's definitely coming along. Once we get the doors done and get them on the truck, this whole front end will be ready than we have back here. But obviously, we have all of the stuff inside to do first. We also have rims that we need to get, which we have paint coming for the rim that I have, which has still been sitting over here since very, very, very early on in the channel. So we have to put the doors back on. We have to put all the rubbers back in and then everything squared away. But I am really pumped to have the gauge cluster in. We do have to run the accelerator for that. We also have to work on getting the wipers motor set up and everything underneath the dash still. As you see, it's still a wiring mess. We have some things to drill in, like we have our plates that go here along with the rubber, but the seat is in. It's where I want it. It feels really, really nice to be behind the wheel. Now, we have stuff coming for the rear end to get wiring. And that's going to be fun, getting the lights all on because, again, I think I'm going to go away from LEDs because of all the issues that I've been running into. But, again, you can see myself in the paint. That looks really, 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 really good. We are really excited about the progress we are making. Hope you guys really, really enjoy it. We are still waiting for our paint to dry. We're going to go ahead and clear that in a little bit. But we can come around and look and just see the progress of this truck. Now, again, 3.5 years ago, all I know how to do was turn some wrenches. And now I have a running and driving truck, an engine that I've built, a transmission I restored. Everything on this truck has been me, as well as Tim, and everybody that's helped me along the way. Again, I really, really appreciate you. But now we're going to head back out into the spray booth and start laying clear on that door panel, on both doors, to get those squared away for next week to be on the truck and have this thing looking like a truck again. All right, so as you can see, everything inside is set up. Now I do have a wiper motor that works. This truck is coming along really, really well. So that spins. I need to find a nut. We have the linkage here, and we have to put in a windshield. Now, as we turn and look, I don't know if you guys can see it or tell, there's a window in there. That thing is a pain to put in. We had taken probably about 5 or 6 hours to put it in, between screwing up, getting it seated, finally getting it seated and working it around. Once it got in the channel and started to work it around, it wasn't too bad. Now, I did use 2 different plastic spatulas that look sort of like this. One has like a hook on the end of it, which really, really helped. Now, this right here, this right here was a real pain in the butt to get on. That took forever. For about that much in length, it took about 5 minutes. So, very long process to put the window in. So I'm definitely going to pay somebody to put the inside or the front window in. I had a quote on this one for $150. Now I really wish I did it, but I did it myself, so I can say that at least. The front windshield is not something I want to fool around with just because of how big it is. So once that goes in, it'll be okay. Then we can start moving back and getting everything put together. Now, the door, I'm going to have to sand back again. The paint didn't mix properly, so it came out in a completely different color. So I do have to do that. But then we are going to start working back and start painting everything back here. Really cool is we have a gas gauge that works and everything of that nature. So now that is going to be a wrap for today. So like I said, it's going to be a wrap for today's video. We'll see you guys next week when we continue working on the 63. We're probably going to be outside sanding back those doors and repainting them. Now, the paint did not come out the color I wanted to. It's a lot lighter. It got mixed a lot more with the glitter that's in it. So I'm going to change cans. That can was almost done. So we're going to put the new can into works. And that should come out with this dark, dark green that I'm looking for. The other one is a very, very bright looking green. It looks okay, just 2 different colors in comparison. So we definitely need to do that. I thought maybe the clear would help it out and dull it out a little bit, but it didn't. So next week we will sand back and repaint the door in both spots, everything down on one and that one little square spot we had to paint on the other one. And get those wrapped up and repaint over that tailgate cover. But again, we'll see you guys next week when we continue working on the C10. So we'll see you then.